All right, welcome to This Explainer. Today we're unpacking a psychological distinction that honestly has the power to completely rewire how you experience life. We're diving into the critical difference between conditional self-esteem and unconditional self-worth. And we're going to be drawing directly from the insights of two leading Persian personal development sources. So if you've ever felt like your internal foundation is just a little bit shaky, even when you're super successful on the outside, you are in exactly the right place.
Let's kick things off with a question. And it's one that kind of haunts a lot of us, who are constantly striving for success, but still end up feeling, well, anxious and empty. Why do our greatest efforts often lead to self-sabotage? I mean, why is it that you can get that huge promotion, find the perfect partner, or build the business of your dreams, and still feel like you're standing on fragile ground? It's a super frustrating cycle. But as our sources suggest, the answer isn't about working harder, it's about looking deeper.
Section 1, the hidden root of our problems. Both Sayed Hossein Abbasmanish and Zendegi Academy point out a massive blind spot we all have. We usually try to fix the visible symptoms of our unhappiness while totally ignoring the invisible foundation underneath it all. And it is wild how relatable these agonizing relationship behaviors actually are when that foundation is cracked. According to Abbasmanish's case studies, an intense inner fear of not being enough can look like calling your partner every half hour just to check where they are, demanding they send their location, or literally falling apart with jealousy over completely normal interactions. These aren't just quirky personality traits, right? They are massive red flags of a deep-seated lack of self-worth that's just masquerading as love or caring. But Zendegi Academy points out this goes way beyond romance. They highlight how everyday behaviors create this devastating cycle of anxiety and isolation. We're talking about things like changing your outfit 10 times because you're desperately fishing for someone to validate that you look good. Or maybe you're constantly buying gifts for people, not out of spontaneous generosity, but from this hidden anxious need to secure their affection so they won't leave you. It is just an exhausting way to live because your entire mood is completely at the mercy of how other people react to you. Now, this is where the numbers just blow your mind. Through extensive student analysis across his courses, Abbasmanish discovered an astonishing statistic. 90%. 90% of the mental blocks preventing our success are rooted directly in a lack of self-worth. That means almost every single time you hit a wall, or self-sabotage a great opportunity, or just feel a deep sense of unfulfillment, it traces back to one central unhealed wound. You just don't feel inherently worthy of the good things in life. Which brings us to Section 2. Self-esteem versus self-worth. To really get why this self-sabotage happens, we absolutely have to untangle these two concepts, because society mixes them up all the time. This is a total paradigm shift, guys. See, self-esteem is conditional. It's built on your achievements, your skills, your wealth, and all that external validation. Like, if you're a great doctor, you have high self-esteem in a hospital. But if you lose your job, your self-esteem totally crashes. Self-worth, on the other hand, that is unconditional. It's your innate human value. It exists perfectly just because you are alive, completely regardless of your status, your bank account, or whether someone complimented your shoes today. I love this metaphor from Abbasmanish's text because it perfectly captures the crucial point here. He compares self-esteem to a building you construct piece by piece. It takes a ton of effort, and it can easily be knocked down. But self-worth is like a precious statue that's already perfectly hidden inside a block of stone. You don't have to build your worth piece by piece. You simply have to uncover what is already perfectly formed inside you. You just need to chip away those limiting beliefs and the societal conditioning that told you your value was tied to your productivity.
Section 3, the law of reflection in life. Now, this isn't just about feeling warm and fuzzy on the inside. It actively dictates what happens to you out in the real world. According to both of these philosophies, the universe basically acts like a giant mirror. It literally treats you exactly as you value yourself. If you constantly broadcast a feeling of being unworthy, the world is going to mirror that right back to you. Your boss is going to ignore your extra efforts, your partner will take you for granted, your boundaries will get crossed left and right. Why? Well, Abbasmanish notes that you are sending out a frequency of unworthiness, and the world is simply complying with your own internal assessment of your value. So before we talk about how to fix this, our sources hit us with a pretty tough, introspective question. How much do you actually value your own peace? Are you willing to protect it, or are you constantly trading your peace of mind for little crumbs of validation from other people? They give us these criteria for an honest self-assessment, and it's a bit of a reality check. It really asks if your happiness is internally anchored or if it's completely dependent on outside approval.
Ask yourself, do you prioritize everyone else's needs completely over your own? Are you constantly checking social media to see if you're ahead or behind in life? Does a single piece of criticism completely unravel your identity? And actually, here's the most telling one. Do you feel immense guilt just for sitting down and resting because you feel like you always have to be doing something to be valuable? Moving to Section 4, living with a sense of worthiness. So, how do we actually escape this trap? Once you finally chip away those limiting beliefs, what does genuine self-worth actually look like on a day-to-day basis? Zendegi Academy paints this really beautiful picture of what a day in the life looks like. You start the day in the morning with this independent energy and purpose, completely free from dread. By noon, when the inevitable challenges pop up, you're setting calm boundaries and handling conflicts without the panic, the tears, or feeling like the sky is falling. And finally, at night, you're experiencing secure, peaceful connections with your family without that exhausting need to constantly prove yourself. That is what it looks like when your worth is generated from the inside out. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final, pretty provocative thought. Really ask yourself right now. If you stripped away your achievements, your job title, your relationship status, and your bank account, how much would you still value yourself? Who are you without all your trophies? If the answer makes you uncomfortable, well, then you now know exactly where the real work begins. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the architecture of true self-worth.